Hello, and welcome to our latest instalment of stuff for you.
This is why you don't intro stuff. Hello and welcome to PopVulture. My name is Cole.
My name's Az.
And this is our review, briefly, of the entire Season 6 of Game of Thrones and the finale.
Yeah.
So, season finale, conflict resolution galore.
It's like, they got, I thought they tonight, oh my god, I don't know what to say.
Your mind's completely
It's blown because there was so much happening there. They could have, wrapped up everything and, finished the show.
Yeah.
Nearly.
Mm-hmm.
If we'd have tagged another hour on the end of that, they could have just wrapped everything up and be like, here you go, Game of Thrones is finished.
All done.
Because
forever.
we're done.
I don't think in Game of Thrones history have we seen anything quite that satisfying in terms of
I saw a tweet by my personal fave, CM Punk, saying that might be the most satisfactory ending to a season of television.
Oh yeah,
Ever.
I would agree with
What
that.
was not satisfactory about that?
It was always going to be a very big challenge in order to follow up last week's episode. And that, by far, I would go so far as to say, was the best episode of Game of Thrones to date.
Yeah.
I think this is a very strong contender.
Very strong contender. Big time. I said to you when we were watching, I was like, this is a very artsy start.
Yeah.
The very slow, it's very slow build, really quiet, and the music that was playing the whole way
it's
through.
very tense.
And you could feel the tension, and I liked how a couple of words would be said, and then they'd go back into the song, and then you get a few more pacing shots and stuff like that.
It was always very quiet and very
really
hushed.
Yeah, it was like you knew something big was going to happen. You kind of just couldn't put your finger on
You
it.
knew something going to happen,
down.
but
Wow. Green flaming they nailing that coffin.
Bye.
I think they were more hated than, I'll go on a limb and say I hate them more than Cersei.
Oh yeah, I think.
No, wrong. I like the comeuppance they gave Cersei, but at the same time, I was like, you guys are
I think it was built up to that point though. I think over the past couple of seasons, it's just been so intensely who are the guys? We need to get rid of them. So that's what we've got going on in King's Landing. Basically,
they're gone.
They're gone.
The confrontation there is now settled. It's just back to Cersei being in charge.
Yeah.
Because she's always been kind of in charge. Now she's really
in charge.
Really in charge. And even Jaime seemed a bit like...
Well, there's going to be a lot of tension going forward there as well.
Yeah.
I'm very interested to see how that plays out. We skipped from King's Landing to Marine.
Yep.
Briefly.
That scene with her, Tyrion and Daenerys
is a very, very nice scene. I think they only were able to fit that in because of the slightly longer length of this episode as well. But I think it was a really nice
I'm glad they did. I must admit,
I'm very glad.
That's probably my favourite scene of the episode. That resonated with me, that did, big time.
Because it was very heartfelt, and obviously we haven't really seen Tyrion receive anything in terms of everything that he's been.
Yeah, he's been
through
a lot of
He's been through a lot of shit.
You feel the bond they've got now as well. You feel they've actually really grown a strong bond between them.
She completely sacked off her boyfriend, didn't she?
I said you straight away, stone cold bitch. She just dropped that motherfucker. Poor Jorah's off getting an unstony hand. So
that'll play out somewhere.
Slip some stony fingers.
Maybe some filler episodes in season 7. We'll see. Some things happen there. And then obviously that final shot of the episode, we've got them joining forces with everyone. Basically,
yeah.
You've got the Dothraki.
We're assuming the Dornish are there, the Ironborn, which are half the Ironborn anyway.
And that bleeds us nicely into potentially what's left of the Tyrell army joining forces with the Targaryens as well. We haven't seen Dorne since, I think, episode 1 of this season.
Yeah.
So,
over our mid-season video, we said, where the are they?
So I think it was really good to sort of see them again in terms of finding out what they've actually been up to.
Yeah.
And what they've actually been up to is they've been liaising with Varys to try and get more people on Daenerys' side.
And it's working.
And they've succeeded.
Well, I don't know, how many seasons we got left? 2?
Potentially.
3?
We don't know how long.
They were talking 2, 3, I think. But I think next season will make sense if it's Daenerys' rise. Yeah. And then our final season is where we finally get the White Walkers, if they only do 2 more.
Yeah.
A nice conclusion.
I think it might take 2 more seasons for Daenerys to eventually come to power.
Okay.
Unless
I
they go a different route with it and they go King in the North becomes the king everywhere. Which again leads us very nicely onto
the big reveal.
The big reveal, which kind of everybody
knew but didn't know. If anyone who trolls through the internet like us two, would have seen the rumour that Jon Snow is actually part Targaryen.
Yes. And we more or less had that confirmed with Bran's vision. Finally, he goes back to the Tower of Joy that we saw basically halfway through the season.
I think we saw that in mid-season when we did our last video on this stuff. And then we go to that nice shot of where his baby face to Big John face.
Big John face, and obviously he's then elected King in the North by the great Lady Mormont. Is incredible.
Yeah, to be fair, what a little actress.
I know, she's
nailed.
She's got good things coming, I think.
That was great.
So good.
And obviously there's the whole stuff, just to touch on it very quickly, obviously Sansa had that creepy moment with Littlefinger, where Littlefinger's like, I see me and you on the Iron Throne.
So I don't really get what's to come from that, whether Sansa actually genuinely wants to be queen, and whether she's coming around to Littlefinger's
ideals, but they kind of teased that with there
was a look. There was a look.
But then she smiles at Jon, and it's like, is she for this? Is she not for this?
I think we shall see.
I think we're going to see Sansa take a bit of a dick role next season.
It's very potential.
I feel that. I feel she's that kind of character. Mainly because of the shit she's been through.
I think she's very at risk of being wooed by Littlefinger, because he's a very manipulative person, and obviously we've seen it before with Catelyn Stark.
Yeah.
I think she is very at risk. One other huge resolution that we did have that completely floored me came out of nowhere. Waterfrey's dead.
And Arya is back with a vengeance.
Literally came out of nowhere. For me, it might have been predictable to other people.
I kept thinking in the earlier scene where Jaime's looking at the girl whose face she'd stopped. They kept making eye contact, and I was like, there's got to be
something going
on there. But then Jaime left, and I was like, okay, maybe that was nothing then. To be fair, I initially thought that maybe she was a plant that Jaime left.
Yeah, so did I.
Because of the whole line of when Jaime was like, why do we need you?
I thought she was going to turn around and kill him and say the Lannisters send their regards or something.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. But then no, face peely.
Face peely. Arya Stark notched off another one from her list.
Yeah.
Waterfrey is dead. Bit of vengeance.
Speaking of a list, one guy was on the list who wasn't in this episode, the Hound.
The Hound, exactly. Although he was taken off the list, he's not on the list anymore.
He was taken off the list.
He wasn't. He was very absent from this episode. A lot of people theorised online as well that we would get Clegane Bowl this season or some semblance of that. That hasn't come to fruition yet, but we have seen the Mounted. We've had confirmation that Sir Robert Strong is in fact Sir Gregor Clegane, as if we didn't know, but we've now seen his face.
Melty Jason Voorhees face,
zombie Clegane. We know the Hound is alive. We know he's going to be coming back in some way. I'm intrigued to see in what capacity that is and how it will transpire. As far as we've left off from this season, we now have the Targaryens with a big army.
Yep.
Finally crossing the narrow sea to Westeros.
Yeah.
Finally going to take her rightful place.
Finally, we have the Starks back in the north.
We have the Starks back in the north.
Applause.
A little bit terrified that winter has now come. That will mean the White Walkers.
Well, as Benton Stark says though, as long as the wall is there,
the wall's not going to be there for much longer. We haven't really got many people defending Castle Black anymore.
No.
You forget that.
This is very true. There's a lot, to be fair, as much as this wraps stuff up, there's still a lot of unanswered bits. Like I say, the Hound, what's going on with the wall? Other stuff. Sam's. Again, what's going to happen there? Exactly. Even though as much as they showed us where he was, they sort of only gave you a little taster of him being there.
Oh, a very,
very
brief
what's going to happen with, well, I forgot her name.
Gillian and Little Sam as well.
Gillian and Little Sam, obviously, what the heck was going on with them? This season, I must admit, up until the last few episodes, which is normally the case with Cameron, not a lot happened. We said this in our last video, not a lot really was going on in the first half.
Putting it as best an analogy as I can do, it was like a game of Jenga, where there would sort of each episode there are a few pieces here or there, obviously with Arya's rise, with Daenerys finally sort of coming to terms with certain things, getting the Dothraki and all that kind of stuff. There are a few pieces here or there, and it seems like this last episode they've just pulled out the bottom.
Pulled out and just watched everything crumble.
Exactly.
Literally,
and quite literally
in
the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
It might seem like not a lot has happened, but they've done a very good job.
So much has happened the last few episodes.
Yes. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Obviously, Battle of the Bastards last week was just incredible.
Up until sort of episode 6, 7 maybe, it felt like they were just wrapping up a few of the questions from the last couple of seasons that they've posed, and obviously getting rid of characters that it didn't necessarily need, like Hodor and things like that.
Yeah.
As much as we still mourn the loss of Hodor, he was at that stage quite an unnecessary character.
Yeah.
And I think Bran going forward, I don't really care.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say that. Like,
Bran's character's been. I mean, he was absent
all
this
we
season.
really needed him for this season was to
answer.
confirm
Yeah.
that what we now know is Jon.
I think he's still got big things coming. It's just like I think this season was more of like
Yeah.
maybe not missed opportunity. I think one glaring thing from the finish of this season compared to the others is where we've strayed from the book a bit. Is we've gone a bit more fan friendly.
Oh yeah, they
this whole season's felt a bit more.
It seems like they've started to listen to more people,
whereas
they're
they're
more
not being
aware
a bit,
of what they're doing.
Not being as harsh with their decisions, maybe. So
this episode was a finally episode where they finally get round to doing things that have been building for such a long period of time.
Yeah.
The past 2 episodes, if you put those 2 episodes up against any TV show at the moment,
nothing else compares.
Nothing else comes
close. To be honest, this whole episode of PopVulture of the Squawk and everything like that, we went to about half a season, but really it's only those 2 episodes to talk about.
Really?
Because I think the episodes in between our last video and this video, nothing really happened of mention, of merit, really.
It's a good job that we've broken it up in just 2 episodes, I think. But yeah, prediction, it has been great. I can't really predict at this stage what's going to happen.
I was going to say, I think we can predict, like next season, I think we're going to see more of this dynamic between Sansa and Jon of like, does she want to be queen?
Yeah,
is she a bit?
Is there going to be a bit of a struggle for power there potentially?
Do you want to score the season?
Okay, all right.
Because we didn't score last time. Do you want to
We
score
didn't,
as an overall season of Game of Thrones?
Okay, I think.
Try not to be too biased because of 2 episodes.
Yeah, right. It would be higher, but I think because of the balance of like 8 episodes that weren't great versus 2 episodes that were.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go.
So I just want to put this out there as well. It's not that they weren't great. It's just that they weren't. They're a bit. It all felt a bit filler around these 2. You know.
64.
64
out of 88.
Cool.
Which might be a little bit low.
That's a little bit low, I think.
But I think just from what it would be a lot higher.
Yeah, you're going to rate these last 2 episodes. I think it'd be an 88 or an 87.
Yeah, 87, 88 for both those 2 episodes. But I think the rest of it just dragged it down quite a lot as well. So 64.
Yeah.
What about you?
I was going to say 72.
Okay.
Because it's still been a high quality season of television. You know, it has been dramatic throughout. You know.
Yeah.
With stuff that's going on. There's been more filler than there has been killer. But the last 2 episodes were serious killer. Hence, that's bumping my score a little bit.
So you're going the other way.
I'm not going too biased. I'm not going too biased, but enough to just because I think it deserves the nod for that.
So what was that? Maths 69? 68? We'll go 69.
69. We like 69. Here you go. Take a little score here.
So that's our pop parcel. 60 is in a little parcel. If you've got any predictions of what's going to happen in season 7, leave them down in the comment section as well, and we'll have a chat with you.
Just to wrap this bad boy up, we had a competition on where you could win a pop. We said it was going to end on this video,
Literally,
but not gonna lie, we haven't had as many subscribers as we thought we would, so we're going to defer it by a week.
1 week.
So we'll probably have something else maybe drop. So we'll probably announce a winner on the next
review, the next video that we do.
So we'll say it's a week. So this is Tuesday, so it'll be Monday, Tuesday that we announce a winner. So just keep subscribing between now and then, and fingers crossed you can win.
If you haven't done, just click the button down there. It's all you need.
Keep an eye on social media. It's all in the bottom. You know, keep an eye on that, and we'll say when we're drawing a winner and stuff like that.
In the meantime, give us a like, give us all that business down
stuff.
here. Comment on our social media. All the information will be down there as well. And
we hope you like Game of Thrones because we did.
And now we've got to wait a year for the next season. What is life?
We'll see you when we next do some videos. Goodbye.